What up, y'all? This is your man Stokley, the drum beater, sonic healer, with my man Jeff Foxx from the Jeff Foxx Show, Behind the Mic podcast. Keep it locked. How you feeling, man?
How's it going, man?
Can't complain, man.
And this is something that we do at least once a year. We got to catch up with you.
Yes.
Let me do my big intro, okay?
Yes, sir.
Real big. He's a singer, songwriter, and producer. Am I rolling?
Yes, sir.
He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a stage actor. I had to throw that one in, Stokley, okay? He's one of the most respected artists in the game. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's the one and only Stokley. What's up, Stokley?
What up? How you feeling?
You know, every time I talk to you, you've done something different. So we're going to move all around in different angles. But this stage thing, man, this caught me by surprise. You did this last year portraying the great Rick James. Man, what was that experience like?
Oh, man, it was a lot of fun. Challenging. It was fun. Just amazing, man. The whole cast was amazing. The play, the story was amazing. The production was incredible. We had a great time. It was just a great thing for me to do, I think, just to kind of get back into the whole acting world, theater. You know, I've done theater years ago when I was growing up. So kind of getting back, it never really left me. I had the opportunity to do it. And Rick James is somebody that was in my world, you know, coming up, you know, going roller skating to his music, listening. He was Rick James.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we all knew what that was when you and I came out and just like busting out of L7 Square, that whole thing. But his life was just so dynamic. Unfortunately, it was, you know, overshadowed by a lot of this, you know, scandals and things that happened. But he was really an amazing dude, amazing man.
Was it hard to find the character, to get to the character as an actor?
Well, you know, I had some people help me through the process. I had some hidden advantages, you know, knowing his music, number one, knowing some things about him, knowing some folks that have, you know, worked with him before. And also, I actually read the book before I even knew this would even happen.
Right.
A lot of the stories, I'm like, wow, they got some of this stuff in there. As far as the process, it just took me a little bit to get into how to translate that to my own body. Not be him, but in the spirit of who he was, you know, to represent that. So when I had guidance from his daughter, they get the thumbs up from her.
You good.
And his family, that's all I care about.
That's
you know
all you
what I mean?
care about. So that was something different because you're creative. You know, you got to always try something different. I really enjoyed the last project you did before this one, Sankofa. Oh, my God, that was a great project. We just ran it. We played those records, and I really enjoy all of your projects. Now you got this new project out and this new song with a whole different vibe to it. This No, No, No. Tell me about this tune, man. We know you're a percussionist first, right?
Yeah, drummer, percussionist. I grew up listening to some music called High Life. They call it Afrobeat now. But back in the day, it was called High Life music, you know, Fela Kuti, you know, all these different groups and bands I used to listen to, a group named Osibisa, 70s kind of African group, but they were kind of Americanized and just doing their version of it. So all these groups were just amazing, and that never left me. I traveled to the continent a couple of times. I've been to South Africa, been to Ghana. So internationally, I need to get into this vibe that was already there. There's too many things to say on the record. I feel like I can't put everything on there because it's people's attention span. It's like they can't pay attention. So I got to get it in a nice little neat package. I would say Sankofa was probably one of the longer projects that I've done. I've seen, you know, as far as songs. So, you know, I had 20, 30 different ideas I wanted to put in there, but it's like, you know, I get it. Let me just say that. So, and kind of, you know, feed people when I think they can handle. So, yeah.
You know, it's interesting because when you put a project together like a Sankofa, it's so much energy that goes into it, so much thought. And then when you get it done, how exhausted are you? And then how do you know you're ready to reboot and do something different? When do you know?
The thing about it with any artist, man, there comes a time you can continue to dote around and mess around with it. It's like, there's a time I tell artists, man, put the paintbrush down. Because you can keep painting and making layer after layer. It's like, no, you just got to put the paintbrush down and, you know, and get it out to the people.
Right.
It's going to help somebody. It's going to soothe somebody. It's going to heal somebody. You do it, you know, for yourself, for your own healing as well. And you have a gift from God. And then you put it out there and people, it's accepted or not. Whoever needs it will use it. And that's what it is. That's why I call myself a sonic healer.
There you go.
I realize that's part of what I do.
You changed the game for me a few years ago when you called music sonic art. You know, I've been using that because, you know, that's what it is. You know, so when you were growing up, what was that first sound or artist that made you stop and say, hey, hold on, this is what I want to do with my life?
When you're young, you go through, it was a very musical household in that we played music throughout the house. I didn't have, like, my parents were educators, not musicians, but they love music. There's music all around. There's music in the school, so I was involved in that. They saw a talent in me very early, 3 years old, and got me involved with, people who they knew in bands and, teachers, instructors, that kind of thing. Started out with percussion, drums. That's what I claimed. Yeah, all the great jazz players, Art Blakey, Max Roach. I grew up playing in African dance troupe, so I was exposed to Olentunji.
Wow.
His dancing, all these different things like that. And then, of course, the music, like I said, of the 70s, the Nigerian high life music. But singing, Al Green was one who would really just turn my eyes like, whoa.
Really?
Whoa, what is that? What is that? And all the great bands, and, the Jackson 5, that seeing them for the first time, seeing, growing up, listening to Earth, Wind & Fire records and all these great horn bands, Brass Construction, Confunction, all these different, when we saw that, with Mint, that's what we wanted to be. We're like, yo, okay, this is crazy. This is amazing. It looks like they're having fun. They're doing what I do. I'm looking at the drummer and seeing what he does. And I came up in a very musical and artistic town. There was a lot of bands around I would go see at the parks and whatnot. That was a big influence. Prince was there very early, and when I was growing up in my late teens, and saw that, his infancy stage, playing around, and, music was a big influence. It came natural.
When you talk about those self-contained bands, I'm glad you brought that up. That was a big thing when I was coming up, 70s and 80s. And Mint was really one of the last big self-contained bands. Now, how do you feel about keeping that legacy alive now that we're in this digital beat-driven world? Do you see it fading away because it's just so hard, so many people to keep it going? Or how do you feel that's going to roll in the future?
I think that two things are happening. You have the digital world and the analog world are sometimes fight, and they're also communicating, meaning that, you have this technological world that we live in, yet they're still humans. We need that human contact.
Yeah.
Even, folks who are doing computer music or things generated by computer, you go out and you entertain people, you need people to do that. So they're always playing some kind of instruments. Even in the hip-hop community, they're hiring bands and that kind of thing. So I think that'll always be there. And there are more people doing music right now more than ever. I mean, you look at what the streaming situation is, it's horrible. So there are a lot of people out making their bread and butter through live performance. Even if it's a DJ, though, sometimes I've seen DJs, they'll bring a drummer with them or a keyboard player or both, you know what I mean? So that live element is always going to be there. I will always have that. I love the conversation. That's what it is, the musical conversation. And then, I think people that come to shows, they love to see that too.
Yes.
At some point, they get tired of looking at whoever they came to see, whoever's on the marquee.
I wondered about that. We play the audience like, we can give them anything and they're going to take it. And I've seen many shows and they were track shows and it seemed like the audience was getting into it. But I remember walking into a concert, seeing drum sets and amplifiers and keyboards. And I said, oh, something's about to jump off. It's about to be good. I missed that.
Yeah.
Is that coming back?
I don't think it's ever really left. Maybe it's diminished a bit just because of, this is what the industry is and everybody's trying to, make a profit. So to put on a show definitely costs more to do. For what I do, when I first started doing, even with Mint and even the solo stuff, both times were like, oh, it's going to cost this much, But after they see the show and the experience that you get, which is why we're all coming.
Right.
There's no substitute for that. You know what I mean? The vibration, the healing that you get from that, literally, I think we kind of overlook that. It's a really big deal. So, I mean, not that you can't get that from a DJ. It's music that is captured in the studio by musicians or however you put your music together. It heals you that way as well. But there's something about that live music.
Something about it.
Yeah, something about it. When you come, you can change something up, play something longer, play something shorter.
Right.
Shift it to whatever crowd that you're at.
In that moment.
Yeah.
I know coming up, I used to love the live albums because it would sound different than the recorded album. And, they were going to change something in the vamp or they were going to talk to the crowd or the crowd was going to chant something. Those live Earth, Wind & Fire albums back in the day. You remember that, Stokley.
That's right. Of course. The Gratitude album was one of my favorite albums. Earth, Wind & Fire.
1976. I bet you don't remember the layout on that Gratitude album, Earth, Earth, Wind, and Fire? I'm going to drop $1
course.
down. Tell me the layout.
Of course, it was a white album with the gold writing, the stenciling, and you open it up.
Yep.
They got the live shots in the middle with Larry Dunn and the Phoenix Horns.
Yep.
Maurice White on the kalimba.
Uh-huh.
Fred White on the drums.
Uh-huh.
All these people, man. I had all the posters, all of it.
Okay.
Double album.
Double album? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's right.
Because it was a double album, tell me about the album itself. Side 1, Side 2, Side 3, Side 4. Why was Side 4 different?
I can't remember that.
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
First side, live. Second side, live. Third side, live.
Oh, that's right. Studio, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where you got Can't Hide Love. And that
That's
was on
right.
the
That's where Can't
recorded
Hide Love.
side, you know?
That's right.
That's what it was about back in the day. You had your album and you go over your friend's house and you try to hip each other to the music, the liner notes. Did you do that?
Oh, read the liner notes? Are you kidding?
I mean, yeah, go over to your friend's house and y'all sit around looking at album covers, and that was a big thing when I was coming up.
That was the experience. I mean, you sit at the record player with your headphones on or whatever.
Yeah.
And you imagine them being in the studio or imagine being at the show. If you want to be in it yourself, you grab that broom and you play the best air guitar you've ever seen. Yeah. Or get some sticks or whatever.
Did you do that? Did you do
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
You got to imagine it. You got to imagine it first.
You got to imagine it first. So when you grabbed that broom or those air sticks, when I grabbed the broom, I knew who I was. I was Hendrix when I grabbed the broom.
Yep, all of it.
So when you grabbed the broom or the drumsticks, who were you?
It depends. I would be everybody. Whoever had the solo, that would be me. When I heard the drums going off, that would be me. If I heard the guitar player,
that's me.
Because everything just transported me.
That's right.
Every sound, every instrument. You know what I mean?
In your mind, it worked out.
It worked out.
I'm on all the instruments at the same time. This is me.
Sometimes I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the stage and I'm watching this dude in my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don Myrick from Earth, Wind playing the sax solo on Reason.
Oh, what did Philip say about that? And that became a legendary line.
You sound so beautiful, don't you agree? You know that. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Classic line.
Isn't that something?
Yes, sir.
You know why I think you have fun? Because I think you're on both sides. I think you love being on stage, and I think you love being in the audience.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing like a live show, man. I don't care if 50,000 people or if it's like 5 people. I can appreciate every level of it,
You're a fan. You're a fan of the music, of the art form.
I'll never stop. That's how I got into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right. We're talking to the legendary Stokley. And thank you so much for checking out part 1 of this special episode. A conversation with Stokley on the Jeff Foxx Show Behind the Mic podcast. Now stay tuned for part 2, coming up real soon. And remember, check out the nationally syndicated Jeff Foxx radio show weekdays. Log online, the Jeff Foxx Show affiliates, and pick your station. We'll talk to you next time.